Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jill. First, we want to thank our sponsors at Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything.
We're going to get things started with Mark's movie segment, and he's got this week's new releases.
Mark!
Mother, what?
I need you to take out the trash.
I'm busy. I have to get ready for Yuma Con and tell these people what's coming out at the movies this week. This week, we have the cool animated family musical adventure, Coco, about a musician and his trickster friend's extraordinary journey through the land of the dead. Sounds like the video game Left 4 Dead.
You've gotta get home before sunrise or you'll be stuck here forever.
Ugh.
Security!
Hurry, come on!
It's showtime!
Also coming out is the biopic Darkest Hour, starring Gary Oldman as the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who must decide whether to negotiate or fight Hitler's Nazi forces. Sounds like he could use the Global Strike app.
You ask, what is our policy? I say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air with all our might. We shall never surrender!
While I take this nutritional health break, check out these movies coming out next year.
Let's go save the world. It's coming back to me. It's coming back. You have to evacuate Chicago. George didn't ask for this. They're gonna put him down. That's not happening.
This concludes the movies coming out this week. I now have to leave for Yuma Con.
You idiot! That was 3 weeks ago. You've been playing video games ever since.
Okay, Samantha, you blonde bimbo, you're going down.
Thanks, Mark, and be careful, those gamers get pretty intense.
They sure can, especially with their cosplay. I got to talk to a few at Yuma Con recently.
Oh, well, let's see the footage.
What's up, geeks? It's Jill with Comic Experience Sci-Fi, and I am here at the 2017 Yuma Con in Detroit, and I'm here with Mike dressed as...
Songbird.
Songbird. Now, what game can we find you in?
BioShock Infinite. Well, I've been working on it a little bit for about a year, and a big push in the last month to get it all done.
Wow, this is awesome. So you made every piece yourself?
Yes, every piece is made by me.
Very detailed down to the stitching, the eyes, everything. So what are you dressed as?
I'm cosplaying a demon hunter from Diablo 3.
Okay, so now did you make this yourself?
Yes, I made all the foam parts. My friend helped me with the hood and the skirt.
Show me your weapons. Show me what you got here.
I have my dual crossbows.
Very cool. So how long did it take to make your whole costume?
I started in early September. Whenever I come back home from classes, I work on it.
So about 2 months?
About 2 months, almost every day.
Tell me a little bit about your costume.
Well, this is Princess Hilda. She is from Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. She is the princess of Lowworld, so she is the parallel universe of Hyrule.
Your staff is amazing here. Did you make it all yourself?
Yeah, I had a little help from my boyfriend. This is PCB pipe, and then this is kind of like the pink foam like you put in your walls. We kind of painted it. Yeah, we kind of glued it, put it paint together. It's still kind of a work in progress, but I thought it was decent enough to take to the con.
So have you done other cosplays, or is Zelda your favorite?
Zelda's my absolute favorite. It's probably my first one that I went really hard on and took my time on, so this is pretty all custom made.
Hi, Kevin. So tell me what character you're dressed as today.
I'm currently dressed as Commander Morrison or Soldier 76 from Overwatch.
Did you make your costume?
I did, actually. Other than the shirt and the jeans, I did make everything itself. Solid working time if I were to work through everything without stopping, probably close to 3-4 months.
Gavin, enjoy Yuma Con. See you guys next time.
Those are great costumes. Looks like you had a good time.
It was awesome. You got to check Yuma Con out.
Okay. Well, now we're going to go to actor Danny Trejo, who we caught up with at the East Coast Comic Con.
Did you know that not only is he in great films and shows, but he also is an actor in video games such as Grand Theft Auto and Fallout?
I did not know that. Let's go to Rich for the interview.
Mr. Trejo, how do you like coming to these Comic Cons?
I love it. I love it because it's the one place where I'm signing autographs and I'm taking pictures. It's you know, a lot of times when I'm eating, people will ask me, I'll sign them, you know, anyway. I don't care, I'll sign them anytime. But this way, it's like, this is what it's for. So I get to get up close and personal with my fans.
How'd you get started in acting?
Friend of mine offered me a job, really, helping a kid out, and I got offered a job training Eric Roberts how to box. So the director saw me and liked me and offered me a job, so it's been awesome ever since.
And how did you get hooked up with Rodriguez for all those films?
I went to go out for Desperado, and I walked into his office, and he said, "You remind me of the bad guys in my high school." And I said, "I am the bad guys in your high." And so we hit it off. He gave me a knife, said, "Twirl this," and that was Desperado. That was 20-some years ago.
What is your favorite character that you ever played?
Well, you know what? I would have loved the movie Machete even if I wasn't in it. You know what I mean? That was just a fun-ass, kick-ass movie, you know? Like me and Jessica Alba killed about 5 people in the first 30 seconds of the movie, you know? And
I take it you like being the badass.
Yeah, you know, and I played inmate #1 for years, and now I'm kind of like the good badass, you know? So that's cool.
Thanks, Rich. And if you want to see that full-length interview along with our other great clips, make sure to go to our YouTube channel.
And it's time for our first commercial break. We'll be right back with more comics, beer, and sci-fi.
Out of all the burger and beer joints, you walk into this one. Good call, because now you're face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Handcrafted, locally sourced, and grilled to perfection. Bagger Dave's. Locals wanted.
Hey fellas, these Howie's specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howie's, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
I want a career in robotics and automation, so I chose Lawrence Tech for its first in Michigan robotics engineering program. LTU's brand new STEM complex has a robotics lab where we can design, build, and program robots in a creative atmosphere. And the best thing is, I haven't graduated yet, but I already have a job in my field. I know I made the right choice for my career. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. Thanks for watching.
And we're going to go out to LA now to Button Mash, where Shannon and Q got to not only drink beer, but play some video games while they did it.
This segment is sponsored by Bagger Dave's, a proud supporter of local craft beer. Stop in today for the best damn burger and beer.
Hey, it's Shannon Long, and I'm hanging out with Q. And for the video game episode, we had to take things up a notch. So we're at Button Mash in Los Angeles, California, drinking beer and playing video games.
I'm here with Gabe, the owner. What made you want to start a place like this?
Grew up in the arcades, always loved gaming, loved classic gaming in particular.
You keep the same games in here? Do you rotate them out?
Yeah, we rotate them all the time. We always try to keep them fresh. This is one we just brought in, Warlords. This is like a real classic 4-player cocktail. Just put out Space Invaders Deluxe, Asteroids Deluxe.
What's your favorite game that's here right now?
Right now, for me, classic-wise, it's Tempest. I'm always down for a game of Street Fighter.
Thank you for your time. I thank you for having us. And I gotta go get me a game of Moonwalker in before somebody takes it.
Let's do it.
All right, Q, so what is like the worst possible thing that could happen for a gamer?
Oh, it's easy. If the game comes unplugged.
All right, so I got a beer called Unplugged for you.
Nice.
This is from a
but this is why Shannon is the beer expert. This is actually pretty good.
So to take this one step further, this has a coffee in it.
Okay.
So it has Kopi Luwak, which is a coffee from Indonesia. And there's a little animal called an Asian palm civet.
Okay.
They eat coffee beans and they poop them out. And they take those coffee beans and now that's in your beer.
No wonder I say stouts taste like
Sorry, Q. Go have some fun.
Wow, those are some great old video games.
Yeah. If you're interested in making your own video games, Lawrence Tech offers several programs in game design.
And Brad was recently on campus to check out a video game design competition.
Hey, it's the Bradcast, and I'm at Lawrence Technological University in the Game Arts Department, and I'm here with Associate Professor Marshall Ashton. I understand you have the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, it's a pretty good job, yeah. Well, I teach and I make games. Right now I'm working on a project that actually won a Taco Bell award.
Nice!
Which is rad. Yeah, I'm among like a small group of people, very talented people. It's quite an honor, but yeah, hopefully in the next year it'll be finished. And
you have a contest, a 48-hour contest to do this. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so 3 times a year we do a game jam. So this is 48 hours. Students, local developers, they come in, start and finish a game. It's a lot of work to do, but it's probably one of the best experiences our students get. And it's something that I recommend if anybody is interested in game development, that's what you gotta do. It's a short burst, you learn a ton, but more importantly, you end up meeting a lot of people.
Tell me the process.
Well, it's a huge effort. I mean, this is something that incorporates a lot of different disciplines. So the students typically, even though they're game specific, they end up getting into architecture, they get into graphic design, they get into writing, they get into all of these different fields, and it really depends on the project. So if they're working on something that takes place in feudal Japan, they're studying that kind of architecture, that kind of culture. It's a lot more work than it seems, and we're submitting them to things. So the students are actually publishing work, which is fairly unique. It's very project focused. We were actually exhibiting at the Electronic Entertainment Expo. So this was next to, you know, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and Disney, and all of these bigwigs.
Thank you, Marshall. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Who knew so much work went into video games?
No kidding. And for more information on that, be sure to visit ltu.edu.
We're going to go to our next commercial break. Make sure you stay tuned.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Here's to the tradesmen, the service techs, the installers, the HVAC guys and women, the ones that work with their hands and take pride in keeping the rest of us comfortable. They succeed with hard work and don't have much respect for those that don't. They embody the grit of their city while quietly enjoying the American dream. Here's to the drink after work tasting even better, because they know it was earned. We don't frost brew our beer, and hot chicks won't appear if you drink it. Our beer doesn't come in a bow tie shaped can or need color indicators to tell you it's cold. It won't be delivered by Clydesdale horses, and to tell you the truth, we aren't the most interesting people in the world. Fact of the matter is, we don't tell stories. We just let our beer do the talking.
Welcome back to Comic Experience Sci-Fi, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Up next, we have Richie at the Motor City Comic Con with Shannon Elizabeth.
Ooh, hi, Miss American Pie.
You were one of our favorite actresses in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and of course, American Pie.
Thank you.
And we wonder what you've been up to lately.
Well, lately I've been living in South Africa, actually. My organization, Animal Avengers, it's a charity that I set up in 2001, and it was a dog and cat rescue in LA for 10 years, and now we're doing wildlife and conservation.
You're here at Comic-Con, a lot of superheroes are here, and you're like a real-life superhero for the animals.
Oh, thank you. Well, Animal Avengers, like, you know, our logo was actually drawn by a comic book artist, Joe Quesada. It was when I was doing Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, actually, that he drew it for me because that's where I met him on set.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So do you like coming to these Comic-Cons?
Yeah, they're so much fun. I've actually learned a lot about myself and my movies by coming here from fans. And like just learning on how they affected people growing up, because to me it seems like I just did them. Like it seems like yesterday. So I get to hear these stories, and it's actually really incredible. So I love coming to these things.
I think I just fell in love.
Thanks, Richie. Way to keep it professional. Hey, did you know that she was actually a Bond girl?
No, which movie?
In the video game, 007, Everything or Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say For Your Pies Only.
We're going to go to Joe Johnson with Hollywood Car Minute.
The pie who loved me?
Joe!
Welcome to Hollywood Car Minute. I'm Joe Johnson, and I am here with Mel Guthrie, owner of the Mirthmobile, this beautiful AMC Pacer, a replica of the car that you've seen in the movie Wayne's World. Mel, what can you tell me about this car?
It's just a fun piece to own. They sang Bohemian Rhapsody in here. That was one of the highlights of the movie for me.
How did it come into your possession?
I found it on eBay and had it shipped from Seattle.
What kind of reactions do you get when you take it out? I know you've taken this out, you've driven it, you've taken it to car shows. How do people react when they see this car?
People recite lines from the movie, of course.
How is it to drive? Is it easy to drive? How does it handle?
Yeah, it's great. It's got great view. The windows are huge. I used to call it a fishbowl because the windows are so big.
That's awesome. What a great car. That'll wrap up this episode of Hollywood Car Minute. Thanks, Mel. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Joe. Great car.
Did you know that there's an Easter egg in the video game Grand Theft Auto 4 that enables you to drive the Wayne's World Gremlin?
Shring. Shring.
Don't do that. Casey.
Hey, Comic Book Casey coming at you from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. We are currently in Monroe at the Comic Book Convention. I am here with my man Marty. Marty and I have been discussing the dark secret of comic books, things that people don't like to talk about today because it started in 1954, Comic Code Authority.
The Comics Code Authority was brought into being due to Senate subcommittee hearings, which were talking about regulating comic books and keeping them out of the hands of children. The company that suffered the most from that was EC Comics, which was published by Bill Gaines.
But church groups also started taking it upon themselves to do public burnings of some of these books.
And then in the 1960s, guys like Robert Crumb started publishing Zap Comics, which were undergrounds. And these also did not carry the Comics Code Authority. There was a very strong movement to preserve freedom of speech and freedom of the press in the underground community. And Robert Crumb was one of the biggest advocates of that, along with Gilbert Shelton and many others of the West Coast comic book publishing. Stan Lee of Marvel Comics published the Spider-Man drug issues, which were number 96, 97, and 98, which showed Harry Osborn hooked hopelessly on drugs. And those books did not carry the Comics Code approval stamp, but it also changed what was allowed to be published in a comic book, because DC followed the following year with the Green Arrow story where Speedy was hooked on drugs. Those were code approved. The Comics Code Authority now just doesn't exist because the big publishers like Marvel, DC, and Archie done away with it because no one else was following suit with it.
Before we go to our last commercial break, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We'll be right back. Join the pop side with new Pop Chip Star Wars Galaxy Puffs, the perfect intergalactic treat for the Star Wars lover in all of us. These aged white cheddar pop puffs come in a variety of shapes, are gluten-free, non-GMO, and made with real cheese. Take your snacking into hyperspace. Find all of Pop Chip's great flavors in your local Kroger.
want to blend my business education and athletic skills and open my own fitness center. At Lawrence Tech, I'm learning how to research, present, and to really think like an entrepreneur. And I love the small college feel here, where there's always something to do. We have men's and women's intercollegiate sports and dozens of student organizations. I can't wait to apply what I'm learning here in the real world. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
When every seat in the house looks like this, there are no bad seats. Pull up a chair and get face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Bagger Dave's, locals wanted.
When you graduate from Northwestern Tech, heating and cooling companies take notice. And getting noticed is nice, but even better when it comes with respect.
With a demand for HVAC techs and the type of money you can make in this industry, skilled tradespeople are getting the respect that they deserve.
Hands-on training, experienced instructors, and thousands of Northwestern Tech graduates.
In just 10.5 months, you can have the career and the respect you deserve.
Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
Welcome back to Comic Experience Sci-Fi, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us.
Let's take it back to Yuma Con, where Samantha got to check out some unusual video games they like to play there.
Hi guys, this is Samantha with Comic Experience Sci-Fi, and I'm at the 2017 Yuma Con in downtown Detroit. We're gonna go check out some video games. And I saw this awesome game over here. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
It's called U-Beat. We call it rapid square pressing for long. It's kind of like whack-a-mole, but to fun Japanese music and a bunch of flashing lights. They tried to bring it to America and it didn't work. So I'm really thankful for these conventions, like Tokyo Attack, Snow Phoenix, them bringing their cabinets so that we can enjoy these kinds of games.
Can you tell me a little about the tournament?
So it's just a bunch of us fans. It goes back and forth. One person plays, the other one plays. If it's 2-0, they move on. If it's 1-1, we do a random. And the last person standing just gets bragging rights.
Okay, so this is Robbie Ribby. It's a Metroidvania-style bullet hell game. You play as Edina, who is a bunny that's magically been transformed into a bunny girl, but she'll also team up with Ribbon, who is an adorable fairy, and Ribbon is gonna need Arina's help to rescue her friends. We just released the game on PS4 and PS Vita. The game was originally released on Steam. It's one of those games that's really good for like a novice, so if you've never played one of these games before, you can go through and you can play the entire game on a really easy mode, or if you're somebody who's really hardcore, there's like ultimate boss levels that are almost impossible,
And I noticed this awesome girl dancing her little heart away. She was doing such a great job. Can you tell me how often you play this game? Because it looks like it's been a long time.
Not very often at cons, but I usually practice at home off my laptop from rip videos from the game.
It's like the actual game online you can look up, or?
They actually have it on console, but the ones that I use are from the arcade machine that people rip directly off the machine because the console version only has so much that you can play.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I was thinking about going out there and dancing a little bit myself, but I might fall down.
You totally have to. It's worth a shot. It's fun. Everybody should try the game. It's absolutely fun.
Whew, that was a blast. I had so much fun, so many video games. Until next week, this is Samantha with Comic Experience Sci-Fi.
Thanks, Sam. I was there. Those games are impressive.
They are indeed. However, I recently had a chance to visit a place that had pre-video arcade games.
Of course you did.
Open since 1990, Marvin Yagoda had been collecting vintage coin-operated machines since 1960. He constantly added more, packing things tighter, shifting around games and kid rides. It is listed in the World Almanac as one of the 100 most unusual museums in the United States. Located in Farmington Hills, Marvin's Museum is home to thousands of mechanical oddities and one-of-a-kind collectibles. Some are exceptionally rare, and others were built specifically for the museum. Just be warned, it is impossible to see everything in one trip. And don't forget to check out the largest collection of well-kept pinball in Metro Detroit. Alas, Marvin passed in January, but his son Jeremy has assumed command and would love to see him. That place is awesome. You guys have got to check it out.
I'll have to do that. Well, up next is our last segment. Here's Richie with this week's home video picks.
Hey, you. Richie. And all the Blu-ray float down here. Stephen King is red hot again thanks to a slew of adaptations hitting the big and small screen this year. The best of those is the fright flick It, which has become the most successful horror film of all time. It is now available to stream on iTunes and Amazon, and the Blu-ray will be out this January.
What happens when another Georgie goes missing? Or one of us? Are you just gonna pretend it isn't happening like everyone else in this town?
Hey, Matthew McConaughey, they're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. The Dark Tower with Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba didn't fare as well with the critics and audiences. However, it's still worth a look if you're a die-hard King fan. The movie is drastically different than the books, but the cast and the special effects help redeem the weak script.
He's like the devil, isn't he?
No, he's worse. You can't stop what's coming. Death always wins.
Netflix has jumped on the King bandwagon with a pair of original movies. The first is Gerald's Game, starring Carla Gugino as a woman who must escape being handcuffed to a bed in an isolated lake house. Thomas Jane stars in the other movie, which is simply titled 1922. In it, Jane's character starts to go crazy after he murders his wife. Both of these psychological thrillers have gotten great reviews, so add these to your list. I'm gonna huff, I'm gonna puff, and I'm gonna blow your effing house down. Here's Kathy. Finally, we're also getting 2 new Blu-ray releases featuring classic Stephen King and Kathy Bates collaborations.
Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
Misery Spirit is still alive.
You murdered her!
Shout Factory is putting out a collector's edition of Misery that has a ton of great behind-the-scenes material. The Dolores Claiborne Blu-ray is a bare-bones disc, but it will make for one hell of a good double feature. As Stephen King's biggest fan, I'm telling you to go out and pick up those movies written by that dirty bird.
Thanks, Richie. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
We want to thank our sponsor, Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. And of course, we want to thank all of you for watching.
So tell me, are you a gamer? Did they have games when you were growing up?
They did, but no one's touched my joystick in years.